a strange set of circumstances that ended with a Vancouver man behind bars. Firefighters say that man lit his home on fire, and because they were worried that he might be armed, they had to watch it burn. Fox 12's Kendra Kent has been following this story all day long and joins us live tonight now. Kendra?
Yeah, that's right, Nora, and neighbors really just described this as a heartbreaking situation. I'll step out of the way here. Most of the police and firefighters have gone now, but you can see there are still some officers. We did see some people maybe in that rubble, maybe investigating more, but it's a house that was standing there that has completely burnt to the ground. We spoke with about a dozen neighbors today, and some of them say they could hardly believe their eyes when they saw that their neighbor was still alive, sitting on his burning detached garage several hours after the fire consumed his house. These neighbors say they were really happy to see that he was still alive. They thought he was dead, and they're hoping tonight that he will not go to jail, but instead get mental health treatment that he needs.
Oh my God.
This neighbor video captures the moment they find out their neighbor Alan T. McCall is alive. He's barely visible through the smoke, but he's sitting on his burning detached garage here at his home off of 19th and Markle Avenue. Vancouver police say they used a canine to look for McCall after the smoke and flames died down. Officers say McCall was hiding in the yard and surrendered without a fight to police officers. That was hours after police and firefighters were dispatched to the call just before 4:30 this afternoon. Officers say they were told that McCall assaulted his neighbor and lit his own house on fire. Firefighters let the house burn to the ground, telling us they took a defensive stance to protect neighboring homes and property, but they didn't fight the fire for safety reasons related to the suspect. Police say firefighters needed to be kept back at a safe distance because officers thought McCall might have a gun. Officers say they also evacuated residents as SWAT officers were brought in to look for McCall. We spoke to several neighbors here today, including a few who witnessed what happened. They say McCall, who they've known as Ty, has been living here for decades and has always been a really great neighbor until more recently when they noticed that he's been experiencing some sort of mental health crisis for more than a month now. Neighbors say McCall was acting aggressively today and getting in arguments with them. Then they noticed his house was on fire.
Was busting the windows out of the house, and then the police showed up, and he had a antenna from a car, and he was swinging it, and one of the police officers pulled the gun on him, and we all freaked out. It's like, hey, there's no use for the gun, there's a taser for that. The cop wouldn't put the gun away, then he ran into the house, and that's the last we seen of him.
And neighbors say they feared that McCall died in the fire, and that's why they were so surprised and happy to see him alive hours after his home went up in flames.
And we heard some screaming, and we looked over, and there's Ty sitting on the top of his roof, flames all around him, covered in soot, and we were just relieved that he was alive, really, is what it came down to.
We've been more worried about him than anything. And I kept on telling him to get him a brain scan or take him to a doctor, do something. People have been trying to get him help, but it just suddenly took a turn for the worse.
And about 10 neighbors today told us they were disappointed by how Vancouver police handled McCall. They believe officers with guns drawn escalated his mental health crisis. They say officers have been to the home several times over the last couple of months, but McCall has not been able to get the help that he needs. Vancouver police told us they could not comment on McCall's mental health status. We did ask about that neighbor who police say was assaulted. A spokeswoman told us the victim was not badly hurt. Now, police say that McCall was charged with first-degree assault, and the investigation into the arson case is still ongoing. At this time, it's not clear whether or not McCall was injured in the fire, but we were told that nobody else was in the home at the time. Reporting live tonight in Vancouver, Kendra Kent, Fox 12 Oregon.